Yeah, I think his issue with Israel-Palestine, I don't know how far back it really goes with him. Like from my perspective, he sort of got called out by the likes of my congresswoman as being anti-Semitic, and then seemed to just sort of jump on the Zionist bandwagon. But then I've heard that there was stuff that he was already on that. So I don't know. I don't know enough about him to know his history on it, to know whether or not he is completely too far gone, whether or not he's amenable to understanding that maybe he's been misguided. He certainly wasn't raised Jewish, so, he might have some learning to do.
22%.
Yeah, that's
that
sizable.
Serious
it's
stuff.
Sizable.
And I have maintained they will not let him on the debate stage. They will break the rules, just like certain people break rules when it comes to, like screening for candidates and things like that.
I think that his people might be, I don't know. I think that when you're polling at 22% and they go to keep him off the debate stage, that's a whole lot of pushback that they're going to get for it. I don't know. That's where they'll end up canceling and not even having a debate because they don't want to have to deal with him.
Oh,
I don't see how if somebody polling it that high, they can just keep off the debate stage. I don't see how they're going to be able to do that.
Well, the fact that he, listen, Teresa, it is debatable where people stand specifically when it relates to cannabis. I look at it this way. The only way that cannabis should be legal in this country is if it permits home grow. But if home grow is not part of the equation, then there's no point.
But that's a state issue. That's the thing. These are state issues. It shouldn't even be an.
Colin, did you find it?
He's flipping.
No, it's right at the top. It's like the first thing. Okay. So here you go.
RFK, legalizing marijuana won't just get people out of jail and back to work. It can actually solve America's drug addiction problem. You think, Bobby?
Let's hear it.
What happened?
We
lost it. We had it and we lost it.
Well, it doesn't transmit audio, so I got to switch out.
Oh, that's what it is. That's a StreamYard thing. Yeah. Okay. No worries. Very good.
But you saw the headline.
So basically, he's in with it, but he's late to the party, but we'll welcome you.
Yeah. And you know what I love? I love the fact that both Trump and Biden's camps are scared to death of him because they don't know which direction the votes are going to get pulled from.
Oh, I do. Both.
And from statements like this, you'll understand why.
My question to you is about marijuana.
A quarter of people in our jails in our country are people who are there for minor drug crimes, many of them for marijuana, which is now legal in many states. What I've advocated is that we should legalize marijuana. We should have a federal tax on the marijuana that is designated specifically for drug treatment and rehabilitation. And I want to build, as part of my presidency, a series of renewal centers, of detoxification, essentially, centers around this country to treat the rise in mental illness and PTSD and drug addiction that is debilitating our children. We lost 106,000 kids last year to overdoses. In the opioid overdoses, that is double the number of kids that we lost during the 20-year Vietnam War. We need to start healing our country in many ways. I think the best solution is to legalize it, make it possible for the cannabis distributors to actually bank their profits and their revenues and not force them to keep them in mattresses, which encourages more crime, and then tax it robustly so that we can pay for these, for the addiction treatment for our children. If you like this video,
he had us still muted.
That's a powerful ad.
So good for him. Good for him for finally, putting it out there just as clear as can be. I mean, again, he's definitely good on some issues. He's off on some issues. He's good on some issues. Of the choices in front of us, he's definitely looking good.
And considering where Trump is right now and Biden is right now, if it's RFK on the ballot, let me tell you something. It's not going to be impossible for him to appeal to at least 1/3 of this country. It's not. If he's at 22% right now, you really think it's a stretch to suggest that the closer we get to the finish line, that he can't get to 33, 34%? You're crazy if you think it's not possible. This country is screaming for change right now.
Yeah.
And he is the only person who's offering it. And he's the only person who I actually do believe that when he says he would legalize cannabis, as long as it includes home grow, and based on what he was showing, it had a very libertarian-esque approach to the actual issue. That's what we need to see.
Yeah.
That's it.
He's not going to get everything. I mean, look, we could, there's a lot of things I don't agree with him on. And I'm sure there would be ways in which he would go about dealing with cannabis that I probably wouldn't be psyched with. But at least he's talking about something in the correct direction, and at least he's addressing something. And I agree. Who was it who said that stoners don't need rehab? You're right. Stoners don't need rehab.
No, they just need food. Munchies.
We need food. We need junk. Yeah. But look, people who want rehab, it should obviously, I think it's something that should be available. But then again, I think we should all have healthcare. So I'm crazy like that. Guys, I would recommend going back. We did a show with Dr. Carl Hart, who the book that I read was called Drug Use for Grownups. And, I would say that like my sort of approach is very, very like his approach. I don't think drugs are a criminal issue. I think it's a healthcare issue. I think it's an adult issue. I think we need to just vote on the age of that. Let's say we say 21 and there you go. And then everybody of whatever adult consent age, it's your personal choice. And I think that our job is just to facilitate people having access to healthcare. That's it. That's our job. And yes, I think people that sell drugs to children, that's a crime. I mean, clearly. But for people who are 21 and above, yeah, I am of his mentality. I think that drugs should be regulated, so they're healthy through our foods, but we don't even regulate that properly. So I don't know. But yeah, drug use is not a criminal issue. It's a health issue. Agreed.
And the other thing you also have to remember about RFK is he is something different. He is somebody who isn't representing one of the two major parties.
Yeah.
He actually has, there are those who think, oh, he's just right wing. No, he's not.
He isn't, though.
He's got, the guy.
He doesn't fit in a box.
He just last week says he's in favor of reparations. Where do you want to place this?
I don't agree with what he says are reparations.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. We could agree to disagree on that. But the fact that he even supports the concept in any way, shape, or form of repairing the harm done to the Black community, good. That's a good step in the right direction. There was something else where I thought about him where he wasn't completely off, but he wasn't. Yeah, he's not a right winger. And one of the first things he said was that he would pardon Julian Assange.
Yeah.
That's huge to me.
That is very huge.
That's huge. And not just Assange. He listed off, it was Snowden. He would give him a fair trial, all of the things that people who seek amnesty for political prisoners would want. Was something that he flat out said right out. And so that's really important to me too. And that is something within the authority of the executive branch. So it's something that he could actually do. So to have somebody running for president saying flat out they would pardon Assange is huge.
Yeah. And don't fear the reefer. That's a good one.
That's good. Yeah. Don't ever fear the reefer. And you know what? To me, I'll trade the Assange issue for his vax issue. Because people are very hung up on his vax issue. But he's not the kind of person that would be president and then forbid us from having vaccines.
No.
I don't see why it matters whether or not he wants to be vaccinated. He's not, I don't think he seeks to be a dictator.
I definitely agree. I think that there's definitely more to be said for people just wanting to have choice. And that is something that it's a free market mindset. And I get that. I don't have a problem with that.
I don't love it. But again, if you're going to talk pardoning Assange and legalizing cannabis, and things that are libertarian that I do like, I'm with you. You're already winning just because I'm looking at the other people and I'm not seeing any of that.
I think right now there's a couple of things and we'll leave on this thought. I do agree with what a lot of people say regarding Trump when it comes to the issue of Israel, that he would almost in every conceivable way be the same as Biden.
Oh yeah.
I don't see.
He's the one who moved the embassy
to Jerusalem.
Of course, and note nobody moved it back.
Correct.
Note that because that's the thing, and I was very clear with Biden.
And for those who want to say that, well, Joe this, Joe that, no, it's worse.
He could have diffused it from the minute that he took office. They knew what was going on. They knew what had happened. They saw what went down. They knew what happened in 2018 in Israel with the, oh God, people, what's the name of the act, the Israel Act, that's basically like the racist, we are an ethno-state and this is how it goes act. So like when Joe got in office, he knew this history and has taken 0 steps to rein that shit in over there and just keep sending them more and more money. Has taken 0 steps to not fan those flames that Trump flamed, right? Like, so he might have set that fire and Joe came in and he ain't trying to put it out.
If Bobby does not evolve on this issue, then there is only so far that he will go. But
you know,
he does.
Bothers me too, but no different than the 2 we're dealing with. So if we're going to have a choice of 3 people that are wrong on issue and on that issue, but one of those people wants to pardon Julian Assange and legalize weed, then you know what I'm saying? I
believe in Israel's right to determination, but I also believe that we must have a ceasefire.
That's at least, look, they're all wrong on this. That's all I can say. They're all wrong on this.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.